Welcome to Tiny Reddit Drama Channel.
My girlfriend warned me during an argument, "Keep pushing me, and you'll regret what happens next." I replied, "Is that a threat?" She doubled down. So I called her bluff by leaving first. Her panicked voicemails threatening to make me regret it only confirmed I'd made the right choice. I, 31 male, have been with my girlfriend 28 for about 2.5 years, lived together for the last 14 months in my apartment. Lease is solely in my name because I had the place before we got together. Important detail. Remember it. Things had been rocky for a few months. Nothing catastrophic, just the slow erosion of respect that happens when someone starts taking you for granted. She'd quit her job 8 months ago to find herself and pursue her passion, photography, which she'd actually done maybe twice since then. I'd been covering rent, utilities, groceries, everything. The understanding was this would be temporary, 3 months max, while she figured things out. Yeah, that deadline came and went without discussion. I brought it up a few times, gently at first. "Hey, any luck on the job search?" She'd get defensive immediately. "Why are you pressuring me? I need to find the right opportunity, not just any job." So I backed off. Figured she'd come around eventually. Last Tuesday night, I came home from work exhausted. 10-hour day dealing with a client crisis, traffic was brutal, and I just wanted to eat something and decompress. Walked in to find her on the couch, surrounded by shopping bags from some designer outlet. Multiple bags, tissue paper spilling out. "Hey babe, look what I got." She held up a handbag with some interlocking logo I vaguely recognized from Instagram ads, the kind that costs more than my car payment. "How much was that?" "It was on sale. You wouldn't believe the deal I got." "How much?" She rolled her eyes, that dismissive expression I'd grown to hate. "Like $400, but it was originally $650, so I basically saved us money when you think about it." I felt something snap inside me. Not anger exactly, just complete exhaustion. Doneness. 2.5 years of this building to a point I couldn't ignore anymore. You spent $400 on a purse, while I'm working 60-hour weeks covering your half of everything, while you haven't contributed to rent in 8 months. Here we go again. She threw the bag down dramatically. "You always have to ruin everything good." "I'm not ruining anything. I'm asking how you justify spending $400 when you're supposedly broke and job hunting." "I am job hunting, and I contribute in other ways. I clean, I cook, I do all the emotional labor in this relationship." "You ordered DoorDash 3 times this week. On my card. The dishes have been in the sink for 4 days. And emotional labor? You mean complaining about your mom while I listen?" That set her off. She started listing everything she'd sacrificed for our relationship. Her career, that she quit without discussion. Her social life, she went out with her friends constantly, always on my dime. Her best years were both in our early 30s, not exactly ancient. I stayed calm. Maybe that's what set her off. The calmer I got, the more unhinged she became. I've learned that people who are used to getting their way through emotional manipulation hate nothing more than someone who won't engage. "You know what your problem is?" She was standing now, finger pointed at my face, close enough I could smell the wine on her breath. "You're cheap, you're controlling, and you don't appreciate anything I do for you. I could have any guy I want, and I chose you, and this is how you repay me. I appreciate plenty. What I don't appreciate is being treated like an ATM while you find yourself on my dime." She laughed, not a nice laugh. "You think you're so smart, you think you've got everything figured out. I think I'm tired of this conversation. Keep pushing me." Her voice went cold, like flipping a switch. "Keep pushing me, and you'll regret what happens next." Something about her tone made my skin crawl. This wasn't just an angry threat tossed out in frustration. There was calculation behind it. Planning. "Is that a threat?" She smiled, a smile I'd never seen before and hoped to never see again. "It's a promise. You have no idea what I'm capable of. Push me out that door and I will make your life hell. I know things, I have evidence of things. One phone call and your life is over. Your job? Gone. Your reputation? Destroyed. You want to play games with me?" "Evidence of what? What the hell are you talking about? Try me and find out. Go ahead, call my bluff, see what happens." I stood there for what felt like minutes, really looking at her. This woman I'd loved, shared a home with, built 2 years of memories with. And I saw it clearly for the first time, like suddenly being able to see through a mask I hadn't even realized she was wearing. The manipulation, the entitlement, the implied threats she'd been making in smaller ways for months. This was just the first time she'd said it out loud, confident that fear would keep me in line. "Okay," I said quietly. "Okay, what?" "I'm calling your bluff. We're done. Get your stuff and get out." Her face cycled through emotions like a slot machine. Shock, disbelief, rage, then something calculating that scared me more than the anger. "You can't kick me out. I live here. You're not on the lease. You don't pay rent. You don't even get mail here. You kept your parents' address for everything just in case. You told me that yourself. Legally, you're a guest who's overstayed. That's not. You can't just." "I can. And I am. You have until this weekend to get your things. I'll be staying at my buddy's place tonight. When I come back Sunday evening, I expect you gone." I grabbed my laptop bag, my phone charger, a change of clothes. She followed me around the apartment, alternating between tears and rage, her mood swinging wildly every few seconds. "You're making the biggest mistake of your life. You'll come crawling back." "Maybe, but I really don't think so. I will destroy you. You think I'm joking? You think this is a joke?" I stopped at the door, keys in hand. "I think you just showed me exactly who you are. Actually, I should thank you for that. Saved me from wasting more time." Walked out, got in my car, started driving before she could follow me outside. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel, but somewhere underneath the adrenaline, I felt lighter. Like I'd been carrying a weight I'd gotten so used to, I'd forgotten it was there. Called my buddy from the car. "Hey, can I crash at your place for a few days?" Just ended things with her. Long pause. Then, finally, "Yeah man, come over. I'll order pizza and crack some beers. You okay?" "I think so. Yeah, I think I'm actually okay." "Good, because dude, I've been waiting for this call for like a year." He'd never liked her. Tried to tell me once about 6 months in that something felt off about her. I'd gotten defensive, told him he didn't know her like I did. Now I understood. Sometimes the people outside a situation see it clearer than those trapped in it. Update 1, 4 days later. Remember when she said she'd make me regret it? She wasn't kidding about trying. I stayed at my buddy's place through the weekend, giving her space to pack and leave with dignity. Even texted her a civil message. "Let me know when you're out, and I'll coordinate getting any remaining items to you." Mature, reasonable, the high road. She left me on read. Sunday evening, I drove back to my apartment. Her car wasn't in the lot. Good sign, I thought. Opened my door and my stomach dropped. The place looked like a tornado had hit it. But tornadoes don't target specific things with obvious malice. My couch cushions, slashed with a knife, stuffing everywhere. Coffee table flipped, one leg broken. Every single dish in the kitchen smashed on the floor, mixed with food from the fridge she'd thrown around. My 55-inch TV had something thrown at it hard enough to crack the screen in a spiderweb pattern. Completely dead. The bedroom was worse. Red wine poured all over my mattress, my carpet, even the walls. Clothes pulled from my closet and thrown everywhere, some of them cut up. My gaming setup on the desk had been swept onto the floor, and on the bathroom mirror, written in red lipstick, "You did this." I stood in the doorway, taking it all in. Part of me wanted to scream, part of me wanted to cry. But the bigger part, the part that had learned to stay calm when she escalated, just went numb. Then methodical. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Walked through every room, narrating what I was seeing, making sure to capture timestamps. This is Sunday at 6:47 p.m. I'm entering my apartment for the first time since Tuesday night. As you can see, the living room has been vandalized. Documented everything. Then I called the non-emergency police line. I need to report vandalism and property damage. My ex-girlfriend destroyed my apartment after I asked her to move out. Officer arrived about an hour later. Older guy, seen it all type. He walked through taking his own photos, asking questions. "You said ex-girlfriend. How long since the breakup?" 5 days. I gave her until today to get her stuff and leave. "And you've been where?" "At my buddy's place. I have witnesses, timestamps, receipts from food we ordered." He nodded, writing. "Any idea why she'd do this?" "She threatened to make me regret breaking up with her. Said she'd destroy my life. I guess this was step 1. You have that in writing? No, but my buddy heard part of it on speakerphone when I called him from my car, and she's left voicemails since then that, well, you should probably hear them. His eyebrows went up. Voicemails? I played him a few. His expression got more serious with each one. Okay, he said when I paused it. I'm going to note in my report that you've expressed concern about potential false accusations. That voicemail where she says she'll tell people you hit her. That's significant. You might want to consider a protective order. Already planning on it. He gave me his card and a case number. Said they'd be in contact with her for a statement. Though he warned me these cases often came down to he said, she said, without witnesses. That's why I'm documenting everything, I told him. After he left, I called a locksmith. Emergency rate on a Sunday night cost me $280, but by 10 p.m. I had new locks on every door and a chain on the front. Changed the garage code too for good measure. Then I finally sat down and went through my phone. She'd been calling non-stop since Friday. I'd been ignoring it, letting everything go to voicemail, figuring she'd burn herself out. Now I needed to actually listen. Grabbed a beer, hit play on the first one. Friday 8:12 a.m. Crying. Baby, I'm sorry, can we please talk? I didn't mean what I said, please call me back. I love you. Friday 2:45 p.m. Angry. So you're really just going to ignore me? After everything I did for you? Real mature. Scary. You think you can just throw me away like garbage? I gave you everything. You're gonna pay for this. I swear to God, you're gonna regret this. Saturday 2:15 a.m. Unhinged. I know what you did at your company retreat last year. Remember that? I have photos. Everyone's gonna see what kind of person you really are. For the record, I have no idea what she's talking about. I played cornhole and had 2 beers. Saturday 10:30 a.m. Threatening. My dad is a lawyer. He's going to sue you for everything you own. You illegally evicted me. That's a crime. Enjoy prison, jerk. Saturday 6:45 p.m. The one that made my blood freeze. I'm gonna tell everyone you hit me. Let's see how your job feels about employing a woman beater. Let's see how your family feels about their precious son. One phone call, that's all it takes. Sunday 1:23 a.m. Pure venom. You ruined my life. I hope you know that. You ruined my life. And I'm going to ruin yours. Fair is fair. You brought this on yourself. I saved every single voicemail, backed them up to 3 different cloud services, emailed copies to myself with timestamps. Then I called my buddy. Dude, I need you to write down everything you remember from Tuesday night. Exact words if you can. What you heard on speaker when I called from my car, what I told you when I got to your place, your observations of my emotional state. Everything. Date it and sign it. Why? What's going on? I told him about the voicemails, the apartment, the explicit threat to accuse me of domestic violence. Long silence. Then, holy, yeah, I'm writing it down right now. You need a lawyer, man, like yesterday. I know, first thing tomorrow. Update 2, 2 weeks later. Things escalated faster than I expected, and dirtier. Monday morning, after discovering the damage, I called into work and went straight to a lawyer. Family law specialist with experience in protective orders. Showed her everything. The voicemails, the photos, the police report, my buddy's written statement. Her assessment. This is actually a strong case. She's essentially documented her own intentions before acting on them. The voicemail threatening false accusations is particularly valuable if she follows through. We filed for a protective order that afternoon. Cost me $500 between the consultation and filing fees. Money I didn't have sitting around, but you can't put a price on not going to jail for something you didn't do. The cease and desist was sent Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. How dare you send me legal papers? Her voice was shaking with rage. You're trying to intimidate me. After what you did. I'm not supposed to talk to you directly anymore. Please communicate through attorneys if you have something to say. I don't have an attorney because I don't have any money because you kicked me out and left me with nothing. That's not my responsibility anymore. Don't call me again. I hung up. She called back 8 times over the next hour. I let each one go to voicemail. Wednesday brought her mother into the mix. My lawyer had warned me this might happen, but I wasn't prepared for the sheer audacity. The woman showed up at my workplace, marched into the front office at 10 a.m., demanding to speak with my supervisor about her daughter's abusive ex-boyfriend. I was in a meeting when my manager's assistant texted me, "There's a woman here claiming to be your ex's mother. She's loud." My stomach dropped, but I'd prepared for this. I excused myself from the meeting, grabbed my folder of documentation from my desk, and went to my manager's office. He was standing outside, looking uncomfortable. "Your ex's mother is making some serious accusations. Before I involve HR, I want to hear your side." I handed him the folder. Police report for the vandalism she did to my apartment. Photos of the damage. Voicemails where she threatens to falsely accuse me, specifically the one where she says, and I quote, "I'm going to tell everyone you hit me." He took the folder, flipped through it. His expression changed from concern to something harder. "She said this before any alleged incident?" "She said she was going to say it. Because she was angry I ended the relationship. I've never laid a hand on her. Never." "Wait here." He went to the lobby. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I heard her mother's voice getting louder, more shrill, then cutting off abruptly. Security got involved. 10 minutes later, my manager came back. "She's been escorted out and warned that any return will result in police being called. I've documented this for HR as well." He handed me back my folder. "I'm sorry you're dealing with this, but I'm glad you had documentation." "Me too. Thank you for listening before assuming. You've worked here 8 years, I know your character, but not everyone would give you that benefit of the doubt. You're doing the right thing protecting yourself." That weekend brought more escalation. My landlord called Saturday morning. "Hey, I got a strange call from someone claiming to be your ex-girlfriend's father. He's threatening legal action against me for allowing you to illegally evict his daughter. Said she was a legal tenant and I violated her rights. She was never on the lease. Never paid rent directly. All her mail still went to her parents' address." That's what I figured. Just wanted to verify. "Also, he mentioned something about you being dangerous and suggested I should check on the apartment for damages." I almost laughed. "She's the one who caused $3,200 in damages. I have a police report. Send me a copy. If they call again, I'll handle it." Then her father called ME directly. "Sunday night, unknown number. Young man, this is her father. I'm an attorney, and I'm advising you that you've exposed yourself to significant legal liability. Illegal eviction, emotional distress, theft of her possessions. You're a paralegal at a real estate firm, not an attorney. I looked you up. And I haven't stolen anything. She took all her belongings. The only theft here is the $3,200 in property damage she caused, which is documented with police." Silence. I could practically hear his brain recalculating. She, what? "Ask your daughter about the vandalism. Ask her about the voicemails threatening to falsely accuse me of abuse. Ask her about sending her mother to my workplace. Then we can talk." He hung up without another word. 2 days later, my lawyer received a response to our cease and desist. Not from a lawyer, from her directly. A handwritten letter making the following demands. 1. $5,000 for emotional support she provided during the relationship. 2. The damage to my apartment was self-defense against my threatening behavior. 3. She had multiple witnesses to my abuse. 4. If I didn't drop all legal harassment, she would file criminal charges against me. My lawyer's response was 3 pages of legal devastation, essentially stating, "We have recordings of your client threatening false accusations. We have police documentation of felony vandalism. We have evidence of harassment against my client's workplace. Any false police report will result in immediate countercharges. We recommend your client obtain actual legal counsel before worsening her situation." The protective order hearing was scheduled for the following week. Update 3. 1 month later, final. The hearing was everything I'd hoped and dreaded. I showed up with my attorney and a thick folder of evidence. She showed up with her mother as emotional support. No lawyer, no documentation, just a crumpled piece of paper with handwritten notes. The judge went through the formalities, then asked her to respond to the allegations. What followed was 20 minutes of her tearfully explaining how I'd abandoned her, how she'd sacrificed everything for our relationship, how she had nowhere to go and no one to turn to. Classic victim narrative. The judge listened patiently until she finished, then asked simply, "Ma'am, are you addressing the allegations of vandalism and recorded threats?" I was upset. He threw me out with no warning. "Did you destroy property in his apartment?" Long pause. Her mother nudged her. "Some of it," she admitted quietly, "but he deserved." "Did you leave voicemails threatening to make false accusations of physical abuse?" I was emotional. "I didn't actually mean." The recordings suggest premeditation, not emotion. The judge looked at my lawyer. "I've reviewed the submitted evidence. The voicemail from that Saturday clearly states, and I'm quoting directly, 'I'm going to tell everyone you hit me. Let's see how your job feels about employing a woman beater.' Is that accurate?" "Yes, Your Honor. Time-stamped before any alleged incident and before the vandalism was discovered." The judge turned back to her. "Ma'am, did you subsequently contact his employer with accusations?" Her mother tried to interrupt. "She's been through trauma. Ma'am, I'm addressing the respondent. Please do not interrupt again." My ex started crying harder. "I just wanted him to understand what he did to me. I gave him 2.5 years. And in return, you destroyed thousands of dollars of his property, threatened false criminal accusations, and engaged in a harassment campaign targeting his livelihood and housing. Is that your understanding of appropriate response to a breakup?" No answer, just sobbing. The judge granted the protective order, 1 year, no contact of any kind, direct or indirect, no coming within 500 feet of me, my workplace, or my residence. Any violation would result in immediate arrest. Then he added something I hadn't expected. "Based on the evidence presented today, including the respondent's own admissions regarding property damage, I'm forwarding this matter to the district attorney's office for potential felony charges. In this state, property damage exceeding $2,500 qualifies as felony vandalism." She went white. "Felony? No, that's not. It was just stuff. Just stuff that totaled over $3,200 according to the documented receipts. That exceeds the felony threshold." Her mother lost it, started screaming about how this was unfair and I was manipulating the system, and her daughter was the real victim here. The bailiff had to intervene. Outside the courthouse, they cornered me. "I hope you're satisfied." Her mother's face was twisted with hatred. "You've ruined her life. She has no job, no apartment, no money, and now maybe a felony record. Because of you." I looked at her calmly. "Your daughter destroyed my property and threatened to send me to prison for a crime I didn't commit. Everything that's happened to her is a consequence of her own choices." She was hurt. Women lash out when they're hurt. You should have been understanding. Understanding doesn't mean accepting abuse. And if your parenting philosophy is that women should face no consequences for their actions, you failed her. I walked away. She screamed something about karma coming for me. I didn't look back. The DA did pick up the case. She was charged with felony vandalism. After 3 months of legal wrangling, she pleaded down to a misdemeanor with restitution, $1,500 to me, over 18 months, and 2 years probation. Any violation of the protective order during probation would trigger the original felony charge. She'll probably pay half of it before she stops. But it's something. Financially, I'm still in the hole. Insurance covered some damage, but between the deductible, uninsured items, legal fees, and new locks, I'm out about $2,800 that I'll never fully recover. Not nothing. Her family went silent after the hearing. The father who pretended to be a lawyer, the mother who showed up at my job, gone. I heard through mutual friends that they're devastated by her situation and blame me entirely. Classic enablers. My ex is living with her parents now, working part-time at a retail store, telling anyone who'll listen that I destroyed her life over one small argument. In her version, she didn't trash my apartment, she had an emotional moment. She didn't threaten false accusations, she was venting. Her mother didn't harass my workplace, she was concerned about her daughter. Some people believe her, the ones who only hear her side. I can't control that, and I've stopped trying. What I can control is my life, and it's actually better now. The apartment is repaired, slowly rebuilt from the destruction. I got a solid performance review at work. My manager privately noted that he was impressed by how I handled a personal crisis with documentation and professionalism. I've reconnected with friends I'd neglected during the relationship, people I'd slowly been isolated from without even realizing it. I started seeing a therapist, not because I'm broken, but because having someone threaten to lie to police about you does something to your head. The constant fear of false accusations, the paranoia about documentation, the way I flinch when unknown numbers call. That takes time to heal. Dating? Not yet. Not interested. I need to trust my own judgment again first. Looking back, there were red flags I ignored. The entitlement, the way she talked about exes, crazy, abusive, couldn't handle me. The small manipulations I brushed off as personality quirks. I won't make those mistakes again. My buddy said something that stuck with me. When she said, "You'll regret what happens next," she told you exactly who she was. That's not what partners say. That's what hostage takers say. You were smart enough to listen. He's right. The threat she thought would control me became the moment I woke up. And every escalation after, the voicemails, the vandalism, the harassment campaign, just confirmed what that moment revealed. She wanted me to stay out of fear. She wanted me to be so scared of her threats that I'd keep funding her lifestyle indefinitely, keep accepting her treatment, keep shrinking myself to make room for her demands. Instead, I left. And the only thing I regret is not leaving sooner.
Thanks for watching. Which side are you on? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for crazy story every day.